You're watching CTN, Connecticut Network. Your state, your government, your network.
Welcome to the Connecticut Legislative Office Building. My name is Kim Fabrizio, and I'm the director of the State Capitol Information and Tours Program, which conducts Capitol tours. We're now in one of 10 hearing rooms at the Legislative Office Building. The building opened in 1988, and in it are the offices of our state senators and representatives. You can find those up on the 3rd and 4th floors. Nonpartisan staff offices are located on the 5th floor, and again, the hearing rooms are on the 1st and 2nd floor. We like to say that in the hearing rooms is where the legislative process really begins, because during public hearings, individuals are welcome to present testimony to our committees on bills that are being proposed for the legislative year. A very unique thing about our state is that all our committees are joint, meaning senators and representatives serve together from the very beginning of the legislative process. In order to testify, an individual does sign up in advance, but members of the public are welcome to come and just observe the proceedings. If you're unable to be here in person, check out CTN. They provide live coverage of many of the hearings and other proceedings at the Legislative Office Building. You'll notice that the hearing room is plainly decorated, and in part that's to keep from presenting any distracting details that'll take away from your testimony. Around me is a gray wall fabric, which helps a great deal with the acoustics. And the wall is also covered in cherry wood paneling from Indiana and Wisconsin. On the wall behind me, we have a wonderful depiction of our state seal in trapunto. The state seal is a design you'll see throughout the Legislative Office Building and the state capitol. We're going to go out next to the atrium, where you'll find the state seal on the hearing room doors. We're now standing outside one of the hearing rooms here in the atrium of the Legislative Office Building. There's a state law in Connecticut that says 1% of the total cost of a state building must be applied to some form of decorative arts. And one of those examples is besides me, the hearing room door. At the top of all the hearing room doors, we have the state seal. On the center of the shield are 3 grapevines. Like many things, there's 2 theories as to what the grapevines represent. The most popular belief is that they stand for Connecticut's oldest towns, Hartford, Windsor, and Wethersfield. But like a lot of things, there's another theory, and some people say that they may stand for 3 colonies that became Connecticut, Hartford, New Haven, and Saybrook. The grapevines were used because they symbolize how our founders transplanted or relocated from England and Massachusetts. In the banner below the shield is our state motto. It's written in Latin and translates to, "He who transplants still sustains." We like to hope that people born in the state, those who come to Connecticut or leave our state, find success wherever they are. In the center panel of the door is a wonderful piece of artwork, depiction of our state bird, the American robin. It's done in marquetry, an ancient form of woodworking that's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. Thousands of pieces of wood were inlaid to create this image. At the bottom of the door is our Legislative Office Building seal. And like the state seal, you'll see a great deal of it in the building. You'll next find it on the center of the floor in marble. I'm now standing here in the center of the atrium at the Legislative Office Building. You can see in front of me another version of the Legislative Office Building seal, this time done in marble. The marble tile that was used on the floors came from Italy, Spain, and Mexico. You'll notice it has a nice 3-dimensional pattern, looking like steps or boxes when viewed from above or from an angle. Besides this marble, we have granite that came from Texas, and that's that rose-colored stone surrounding me. Another major piece of art here at the Legislative Office Building is the statue known as Eagle Landed in the center. The sculpture was designed by David von Schlegel, who was a professor at Yale University. The aluminum statue is covered in gold leaf and stands 8 feet tall. The figure rests atop a granite column, 24 feet tall, and that granite is the only piece of Connecticut stone in the building. The statue is said to represent civic pride, virtue, and strength. An interesting thing about its placement is that it lines up with the Capitol Dome, in a way visually connecting the 2 buildings. Also helps us remember that the legislative process begins at the Legislative Office Building and ends at the state capitol. We're now at the start of the Legislative Office Building Concourse, and this leads underground to the state capitol. On both sides of this hallway is a timeline known as Orderly and Decent Government. This is one of the few places in Connecticut where you'll see our state's complete history. This is a companion piece to an exhibit known as Imagining Connecticut, and we'll see that a little further on in the upper concourse. We're now halfway through the underground concourse leading to the state capitol. We're standing in the Veterans Hall of Honor, a very simple way for us to remember our Connecticut servicemen and women. Our version of the Iwo Jima flag raising is modeled after a survivors memorial found on the Newington-New Britain line. This statue honors the 98 Connecticut men who lost their lives during the World War II Battle of Iwo Jima. Next to me is the three servicemen statue, part of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and this piece was donated by Dr. Stephen Brown, himself a veteran of the Vietnam War. Added to the hall in November of 2007 is the Wall of Honor, and this shows photographs of Connecticut servicemen and women who've lost their lives serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. Another part of this Hall of Honor is the Medal of Honor plaque, and it lists the names of the Connecticut men awarded the highest medal in our military. Those names are from the Civil War through the Vietnam era. For more information on the Connecticut General Assembly or to arrange a tour of the state capitol, please visit cga.ct.gov, click on Capitol Tours, or call 860-240-0222.